Okay, shalom, shalom to the elect. I guess this will be part 2 of Isaiah 66 and 24, the pitiful state of the Edomites in the kingdom, because I realized that I forgot one prophecy that's in relation to Isaiah 66 and 24. So even before the Edomites, right, along with the other nations, even before they go into captivity underneath us Israelites, there's going to be a great slaughter brought on by the nuclear missiles and Yahushai, okay? As it is written, the slain of the Lord shall be many. Now, on the planet Earth, you're going to have a lot of dead bodies. And I'm going to show you that, okay? And the Edomites and the other nations, especially the Edomites, guess who's going to be digging the graves for those dead bodies? That's right, the Edomites and the other nations. That's going to be the first job of slavery underneath us Israelites, because the earth has to be cleansed. So if we take a look at Isaiah 66 and 24, which indeed is a metaphor for the low estate the Edomites and the other nations are going to be in the kingdom, especially the Edomites. I think of all the other nations that's going to catch it the worst in the kingdom, undoubtedly is going to be the Edomites. Because not only that they're going to catch it from us Israelites in the kingdom, they're going to catch it from the other nations too. Because the other nations, they're going to be in slavery right along with the Edomites, and they're going to put hell on the Edomites. Because when the Edomites were in their kingdom, they were putting hell on the other nations. Okay? And that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch the other nations go at Esau, man. We're going to have a ball watching them slug it out. Okay? That's going to be entertainment. And the animals are going to come at Esau too. Okay? So we're going to have a ball in the kingdom. There's no doubt about it. But let's get into it, man. Isaiah 60. So this will be part 2 of Isaiah 66 and 24. So bad I had to do a second parter. Isaiah 66 and 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. Right? Now, in the previous video, I said that's going to be the low estate of the Edomites, which kind of leads into it. But when you really go into it, you're going to have a lot of dead Edomites, man. A lot of dead bodies that have to be buried, okay, so that the earth can be cleansed. All right? So when we go in the book of Ezekiel now, let's go in the book of Ezekiel, as Elder High Priest Yaquab would say. Let's go in the book of Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, which goes into that. Now, that was something that I forgot, and while I was watching the video, I went back and watched my video. I said, well, wait a minute. I forgot about Ezekiel, the 39th chapter. So the Spirit tapped me and said, hey, did you forget about Ezekiel, the 39th chapter? I was like, oh, shit, yes, I did. So here it is right here. Ezekiel, the 39th chapter and the 11th verse, beginning at the 11th verse. So this is right after the destruction, right after the destruction, World War III, if you will. Okay, and the destruction being brought on by the chariots. Remember, it is written of the Lord, the slain of the Lord shall be many. So there'll be many dead bodies, especially over there in the Middle East. All right, and I got 2 scriptures to show you that proves that. So Ezekiel 39:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel. Okay, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea. It shall stop the noises of the passengers, right? Because that's the stink that's going to come up from their bodies. As a matter of fact, what is that? Isaiah 34? So those dead bodies are going to have to be buried. And that's going to be the first job. That's going to be the first job of the Edomites and the other nations, to bury those bodies. It is right here. Isaiah 34 and 2. This is talking about the destruction. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Remember the vision that Esdras had, where he saw the armies of Esau battling, the armies of Esau and the other nations, that is, battling the Lord and the angels. So what do you think is going to come out of that? A lot of dead people, man. A lot of dead bodies. Because the Lord is going to eviscerate them. Okay? Ezra saw it in a vision. He said all he saw was the smell of smoke and fire. Okay? Like he said, the Lord neither lifted up any weapon. All he saw was a blast of fire and then smoke. Okay? So that's a whole lot of dead bodies being eviscerated. Okay? So that's an example of the indignation of the Lord, like it says here. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. See that? He have utterly destroyed them. So what's going to be the result of that? A lot of dead bodies, people. A lot of dead bodies. That's going to be the result of it. So who's going to bury them dead bodies? You think we're going to do it? Oh, hell no, man. We ain't going to do that shit. We're going to have our slaves do it. Beginning with the Edomites. Beginning with those top banking families. That's going to be their first job. To bury them damn bodies, man. Okay? He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. There's going to be a great slaughter. They're slain. That is the dead bodies. When you go back to Isaiah 66, it speaks about looking upon some carcasses of men that have transgressed. That's them dead bodies. It begins there. And plus, Esau and the kingdom and all the other nations, they're going to look in a dead state, especially the Edomites. They're going to look like carcasses in our kingdom. They're going to look so pitiful. I want you to understand how pitiful the Edomites are going to look in our kingdom, man. Okay? They're going to look so bad that not even their own woman is going to want them. Okay? So let's go back to Isaiah 34. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. So there's going to be a great slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out. That's right, the dead bodies. And their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Wait a minute. Go back to Ezekiel 39. The stink is going to be so bad that it's going to what? It shall stop the noises of the passengers as they go about to bury those bodies. It's going to smell so bad. That's one of the reasons why we ain't going to do it, man. First of all, we're royal people. We don't belong near no dead bodies. We ain't going to be doing that shit. Okay? The dead should be among the dead. We're going to be alive, man. You think we're going to be burying some goddamn dead bodies? What, are you crazy? We're going to have our slaves doing that, man. The Edomites, the rest of the Edomites, beginning with the top banking families, which will be alive, they're going to be burying them dead bodies along with the other nations in slavery, in captivity. Okay? So you notice it said, and it shall stop the noises of the passengers. Right. So when you go back to Isaiah 34, it says what? Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. A lot of blood, man. Yahushua gonna kill. Again, the slain of the Lord shall be many. Yahushua gonna kill a lot of people, man. And I'm talking about worldwide, especially in the Middle East. Especially in the Middle East. Okay? And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Because it don't make sense that we're going to be over here in America, or not we, but the other nations will be over here in America burying dead bodies. We won't have to. America's going to be a fire pit. So what it's talking about here is particularly in the Middle East. Okay, the Saudi Arabia and places like that. Okay, even Israel. Okay, because Israel is going to be a fire pit, but after a while the fire is going to die down. Israel is going to be rebuilt. That land has to be cleansed. You can forget about America. America is going to be just on fire, just one big desert when the fire dies down. So that's talking about primarily the Middle East, around that section of the world there. You're going to have a lot of dead bodies. Matter of fact, let's not forget about the multitude of armies that are going to be gathered in the Persian Gulf, right? Let's go to Joel. What is that, Joel? So who you think going to bury them bodies? That's right. The Edomites and our slaves, man. The other nations is our slaves. What's that? Joel, the 3rd chapter? Multitudes in the valley of decision. That's what we want. Joel, the 3rd chapter. And I didn't even put these scriptures together. I'm just going. Let's start at I'm just going according to the Spirit. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, which is what we do when we teach these scriptures. Proclaim ye this among the nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. What war? World War III. World War III. All the mountains of dead bodies will be a result of World War III and Yahushua and the angels. Because remember, Yahushua, he bringing war too with them angels. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, right? That's in the valley of Jehoshaphat, also known as the Persian Gulf. Going to be a lot of dead bodies there. They're going to have to be buried. The earth got to be cleansed. We ain't going to do it. We're going to have our slaves doing it. We're going to be in rulership after World War III, beginning with the elect of Israel. Let's not forget that. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. That's all the other nations. All their war machinery, they're gonna have to give it up and turn it loose. They're gonna receive farming tools. Why? Because they're going into slavery. They're gonna be taking care of our farms. They're gonna be pruning our gardens. They're gonna be being our vine dressers. There's a prophecy where it tells you the sons of the alien shall be your vine dressers. That's the other nations. They're gonna take care of our grapes in the kingdom. Now the Edomites, they're just going to work the land as mules. That's why when you go to the parable of the rich man, the rich man was afar off, watching Lazarus, which is a metaphor, watching Lazarus and Abraham chill out in the kingdom. Let's not forget that, right? So it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, right? Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, that's the other nations, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Gather yourselves together round about for what? For war. All right. The prophecy says that when Yahushua comes back, you're going to have Esau and the other nations coming at Yahushua with war. They're going to try to fight Yahushua and the angels, bring war to Yahushua and the angels, and they're going to lose badly. So as a result, there's going to be a lot of dead bodies, a lot of dead bodies. So it says, and gather yourselves together round about. So many dead bodies that the stink is going to come up, like we read in Isaiah the 34th chapter. Okay, so those bodies have to be buried. Okay, we're going to go back to Ezekiel the 39th chapter. And gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Yeah, the mighty ones are Yahushua and the angels. And they're going to come and fight against Esau and the other nations and their armies. Okay? How's it go in Revelation 19 and 7? And there was war. No, Revelation 12 and 7, not 19 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Let's get that. Let's get that. And there was war in heaven. That prophecy hasn't happened yet. What do you think that's talking about? Yahushua, the angels in them chariots fighting against Esau and the other nations in their fighter jets and fighter planes or whatever, and their tanks or whatever, making war against the Lord and the angels. There it is right here. That's why Michael the Archangel is coming right along with Yahushua. That's why there ain't going to be nothing left of Esau and the other nations that come against the Lord and the angels. They're all going to be eviscerated. Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. There you go. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon is Esau, led by Esau and the other nations. The dragon fought and his angels. That's the other nations. All right. Siding up with Esau to fight against the Lord and the angels. Remember what Ronald Reagan said. Former President Ronald Reagan. He said, what if we understood that there was a force coming from outer space to fight against us? Would we not all put our differences aside and fight against that force? Exactly. Showing you that the top wicked elite know that Yahushua and the angels are coming to battle against them and to destroy them out of their kingdom. They know that. That's why Ronald Reagan made that statement. So that's exactly what's going to happen. That's the prophecy we're reading here. And there was war in heaven, meaning in the skies. Michael and his angels, because when you go in Daniel 12, Michael is coming together with Yahushua to bring war. Okay? So Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right? And I already explained to you what that is. And prevail not. The same vision that Esdras saw, okay, in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. Let's go there. The same vision that Esdras saw. Let's read it. 2nd Esdras, okay, 2nd Esdras, we're going to go to 2nd Esdras 13. This is the vision Esdras had. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed the dream by night. This is a vision. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong. This is when Yahushua comes back to the planet Earth to reclaim his kingdom. That man waxed strong, that's Yahushua, with the thousands of heaven, that's the angels. Remember? One of them being Michael the archangel. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen unto him. Right, there's a scripture where it says they were afraid, but there's fight. Because the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, going to put the spirit on Esau and the other nations to fight against the Lord and the angels. Remember what Ronald Reagan said, wouldn't we put aside our differences and fight against that force? They know what that force is. Reading on, it says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire, because the Lord is coming with fire. Luke 12:49. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, and there was war in heaven. Revelation 12:7. A multitude of men out of number, from the four winds of heaven. Right, that's the other nations coming together with Esau to battle Yahushua and the angels. From the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. That's Yahushua and the angels. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, because Yahushua going to be in a massive chariot. The chariot was so huge, Esdras described it as looking like a mountain, and flew up upon it. We know mountains don't fly, all right? This is a chariot, the dark saying. But I would have seen the regional place where out the hill was graven, and I could not, because it wasn't a hill, it wasn't a mountain, it was a chariot, a so-called UFO, if you will. Yahushua is going to be leading the pack, so to speak, as birds flying. Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying, so will the Lord. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. Reading on, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they were gathered together to subdue him, was sore afraid, and yet there's fight. And there was war in heaven. They gotta fight to fulfill that prophecy. No matter how scared Esau and the other nations are going to be when they see Yahushua and the angels coming in their power, they're still going to fight, because they have to fulfill prophecy. One of those prophecies is Revelation 12:7. They have to fulfill the vision that the Apostle John saw in the island of Patmos, recorded in Revelation 12:7. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, right, they're going to become their tanks, their stealth bombers, you name it. They're going to pull out all the stops, Esau and the other nations, of their military hardware to bring against Yahushua and the angels. It's going to be one hell of a sight, man. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire. That's them laser beams of fire coming out them chariots. The war of the worlds, if you will. War of the worlds. That's literally going to happen. The only difference is it's not going to be little green men from Mars. It's going to be Yahushua and the angels. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Those are the laser beams of fire coming out those chariots. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight. That's Esau and the other nations. And burned them up, every one of them, leaving what? Leaving a mountain of dead carcasses, a mountain of bodies. Okay? That's where we go back to Ezekiel, the 39th chapter. Okay? Which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one of them, or every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So what's going to be the result of that? A lot of dead carcasses, a lot of dead bodies. Okay, and that's why when you go back to Revelation 12:8, now you understand why it says, and prevail. Who's going to prevail? Yahushua and the angels against the dragon and his angels. I already explained to you who the dragon is, Esau, and the other nations coming against the Lord and the angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven, as in rulership. That's what that means. So when you go back to Joel 3 now, you understand what it says. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. That's Yahushua and the angels come down for the battle. Okay, there's going to be a battle between Yahushua and the angels and Esau and his armies, the other nations and their armies, battling against the Lord. And they're going to lose miserably. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's the Persian Gulf, the valley of decision. That's where the Heavenly Father is going to bring indignation upon all the other nations that fucked with his chosen people. Okay? Yeah, that messed with his chosen people, beginning with the Edomites. So let them come. So even now as I speak, you got armies gathering in the Persian Gulf, the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? And there are going to be a lot of dead bodies there. And that's where Ezekiel 39 comes in. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. What's going to be that judgment? Death and mountains of dead bodies. Okay? Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. They're going to be the same armies fighting against the Lord and the angels and lose miserably, man. Multitudes in the valley of decision. That's the Persian Gulf. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. See that? So now let's go back to Isaiah 34. So now you understand why it says Isaiah 34:3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up. Now you understand where the stink is going to come from. From the multitudes of dead bodies, especially in the Persian Gulf. Lying in the sun, man. Lying in the sun. For the birds, for the birds to peck at. Let's get it. Revelation 19 and 17. Revelation 19 and 17. And the vision is for sure. No doubt about it. The vision is for sure. 19 and 17. All the prophecies must be fulfilled. Revelation 19 and 17. We can't forget that. Okay? Revelation 19 and 17. And I saw an angel. Who's this speaking? The Apostle John on the island of Patmos. There's a vision he saw. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. What's the supper of the great power? All them dead bodies, man. Okay? All them dead bodies. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men. The same mighty men who fought against Yahushua and the angels and lost. Their bodies are going to be strewn about. Okay? Under the sun. You can forget about America. That ain't going to take place here in America. America's going to be on fire, man. America's going to burn for a long time before the fire dies down. This is talking about over there in the Persian Gulf, the Middle East, where the great battle is going to take place between Yahushua, the angels, and Esau and the other nations and their forces. Okay? So the result is going to be dead bodies strewn all about. Okay? Because remember, Yahushua said, I'm not meeting you, Esau, as a man. Just so you know, I'm coming as this power. So it'll be impossible to kill Yahushua and the angels. But even though Esau is still going to fight, because the Lord, Yahweh, going to put the spirit on them to fight Esau and the other nations, and they're going to lose. How can you fight against a God? You're going to lose. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. You see that? So there's going to be a great supper. That's going to take place over there in the Persian Gulf. Absolutely. Because America is going to be wiped out. So it doesn't make sense it would take place here. All right. So again, now you understand Isaiah 34:3. The slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountain shall be melted with their blood. Again, the multitudes. Remember what Joel said? All right. All of them coming against the Lord and the angels and losing. All right. Being blasted. So you're going to have all these dead bodies, man. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, as the nuclear missiles, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon who? Idumea, the Edomites, and upon the people of my curse, that's the Edomites, to judgment. And he goes on to say, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys. These are all metaphors of people. Of rams, for the Lord have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So you're going to have, as a result, you're going to have all these bodies, and they're going to have to be buried. And it shall come to pass, we're back in Ezekiel, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place thereof of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, right? And it shall stop the noises, it shall stop the noses of the passengers. Again, their stink shall come up. We read that. And they shall bury Gog and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamon-Gog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them. It's not us. We're not going to do it. Even though it says the house of Israel, we're going to have our slaves to do it. That's going to be their first job, because it says we're going to seek out men of continual employment. Okay, the slaves as in Esau and the other nations. All right, and 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, burying those bodies, that they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, right? And it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord power. And they shall sever out men of continual employment. Now, when you look up the word employment, it literally means slave. All right, get you a good law dictionary is going to tell you that. The word employment means slave. Okay? So we're going to have our slaves doing the burying. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it. Persian Gulf, around Israel, etc., around that area. Forget about America, because America is going to be on fire at that time. And it's going to take a while before the fire dies down over here. Okay? Whatever bodies is left in America, there won't be no bodies. America is going to be 100% on fire. Okay? And so is Israel, but the fire is going to die down, and Israel is going to be rebuilt. But around Israel, such as the Persian Gulf and those different areas there in the Middle East, you're going to have dead bodies all around. The prophecy must be fulfilled. And we're going to have our slaves burying those bodies. And that's going to be a horrific sight. That's why it says in Isaiah 66 and 24, there shall be an abhorring of the flesh, an horrific sight. There you go. Passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bone, as a result of the other nations fucking with Yahushua and the angels, when they see if a man's bone, and World War III as well, okay, because you're going to have a high body count from the advent of World War III. When any seeth a man's bone, then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon-Gog. Right, because you're going to have Esau going to be the ones doing the burying, the digging and the burying. But we're going to have the other nations set up, how do you say, a sign. Okay, there's a body over here. There's a body over there. Because the earth got to be cleansed. It's going to go back to the old way of doing things. All right. So Esau going to be the one digging up them tombs, or digging up them holes to bury them bodies. Okay. Then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon-Gog. And also the name of the city shall be called Hamona or Hamona. Thus shall they cleanse the land. See that? Then again, I'll check this out. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Lord, speak unto every feathered fowl. That's the same thing Revelation 19 and 7 said. Was it Revelation 19 and 7? I'm not sure. No, Revelation 19 and 17. It is right there. I'm glad I wrote it down. And thou, son of man, Thus saith the Lord power, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves, and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood. Right. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes. The same thing Revelation 19:17 says. Drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, and of goats, of bullocks, of all them fatlings of Bashan. And ye shall eat fat till ye be full, and drink blood till ye be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. And really that's talking about people, as in dead bodies. A little of the animals in there too, but mainly the people. They'll be a sacrifice. Okay? Thus look, it's talking about people, because let's read. Thus ye shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war. Those are the same individuals that came against Yahushua and the angels. Now their dead bodies are going to be lied strewn in the sun, man. All over the place, man. That's the ones that the diggers don't get to dig. The birds going to have a feast on them. The Lord said he have called the birds to bring them a feast. With mighty men and with all men of war, saith the Lord power. Okay? And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. Oh, what's that going to do? That's going to put the fear of the Most High in them, man. All right? For the Heavenly Father, his only begotten Son, and for us Israelites, man. Okay? So when you go back to Isaiah 66, now you understand even clearer when it says, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. Yeah, because you're going to have these other nations, Esau and these other nations, burying those dead bodies, especially the ones that came against Yahushua and the angels. So this is even before Esau gets in his predicament. Esau and the other nations get in their predicament of being our slaves. This is even before, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of dead bodies as a result of World War III and Yahushua and the angels. It says, that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die. There you go. Neither shall their fire be quenched. That's going to be in the kingdom when all hell comes upon Esau and the other nations, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh. Yeah, beginning with the dead bodies that's going to be strewn about. Remember, it says that the slain, the smell come up from the carcasses. It speaks about the slain in Isaiah 34. Okay? So there you go. So that's really what that's talking about. That's not talking about, according to Battle Axe, that's not talking about a place where you burn forever. That's the new hell, or whatever, however they broke it down, which they went totally off. All right? So on that note, I'll end it there. Hopefully you were edified. This has been part 2 of Isaiah 66 and 24, the pitiful state of the Edomites in the kingdom.